My name is Laura Lee, and I've been asked to do some recordings regarding the embodiment contemplation. And I can honestly say I have been feeling nervous about doing these videos, and my own ego kicks up and wants things to be perfect. And so I would ask your understanding because I'm not going to edit these. if I sit myself down to edit these videos, you will never receive them because my drive for perfection will never never consider the editing job complete. And so I'm going to tell you right up front, I'm not going to edit these. I'm just sending them out per the request. So the embodiment contemplation is not a new thing. It's something that I'm certain has been around for eons. It just is a process that I've come across that really works when it comes to internal growth um, and dealing with emotions and thoughts and beliefs and the things that get in our way of actually doing what it is we want to do in the world. A little bit about me and why um, why I'm recording these videos. And when I was in graduate school, I had a lot of stuff. I could not speak from my heart without crying. So anytime that I wanted to participate in class and I stood up or I wanted to say something that was deeply moving and meaningful to me, the waterworks would start. And my own internal judge would kick up and start judging myself for crying and judging my tears as bad. And it just made not myself incredibly uncomfortable and the people around me. And I knew I had stuff. And as part of the graduate school curriculum, they talked about self as instrument and how we needed to do our own shadow work so that when we work with clients, we're clean and grounded, and we can work with clients in a way that our own stuff is not being emotionally triggered. I got it. I got the message. I knew I had stuff. I kept asking, how do you deal with this stuff? And I know I've got it. How do I get rid of it? I don't want it. And it never really came out in the curriculum or any discussions that I had with people of like, how do you do this work? How do you clean up your stuff so that you can be in the world and work with clients from this grounded, present place? So after graduating from school, I got introduced to the Enneagram, and it opened up a lot of realizations for me regarding my own personality type and the personality types of my family members and how ego structures work. And I went down this path for about 3 years. Total deep dive into Enneagram growth work, Enneagram learning, taking the classes through the Enneagram Institute, and just really dove into the Enneagram system wisdom and knowledge and practices and things like that. And it was hugely transformational for me. I shifted a lot of stuff, and I highly recommend that to anyone. It just is true. Then, about 3 years in, I had a friend ask me to go to church, and he was going to be speaking at church, and he wanted his people in the congregation, so he felt comfortable with that. And I haven't been a churchgoer since I moved away from home. I was really opposed to the whole doctrine and whatever from church. And I said, okay, I'll go for you. Not because I need church, but because you've asked me, I will go for you. I will sit there, I will sing the songs, I will whatever for you. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I had no idea that a church like this actually existed, and that it opened up the reality between psychology and spirituality. The Enneagram has a spiritual focus to it, but it's not really talked about openly. A lot of the psychology of it is written about, and a lot of the literature and information is on the psychology side. But what I've discovered is that psychology and spirituality are not separate disciplines. They are combined disciplines. And that's what the embodiment contemplation is about. It is a contemplation, a way of thinking through a situation in a way that actually completes the cycle of the experience, which is what Gestalt psychology is about. It's about completing the cycle of experience, and that interrupted cycles are what cause stuff. It's just a different perspective. And so this contemplation method, practice, is a way of completing the cycle and coming through to a place where you actually feel really good about yourself, and you can accept, for me, I can accept my tears. My tears are no longer being judged and viewed as bad, and please just make them stop. For me, tears now are the signal that I'm on course for doing deep level spiritual and emotional growth work. If I'm not crying, I haven't found anything. And when the tears come, that's the place where the work is for me. And so now, when I cry, the critic and the judge still come up, but I'm like, hey, there's where the work ends. And I can now use the embodiment contemplation process to guide myself through that work all on my own. I don't need a coach. I don't need a therapist. I don't need an Enneagram growth facilitator. I have a methodology that I follow that came to me from participating in Enneagram learning and spiritual growth work that, when combined, creates the complete gestalt. And I've been using this with clients for the past few months and teaching it to clients, and they're having amazing shifts. A client just yesterday reminded me, she's like, I've worked with a therapist before, and what I really like about working with you is I leave here feeling better about myself, but also I leave with tools that I can apply anytime I need to, and I can solve my own situation. And each time you and I work together, I get a deeper, better grasp of those tools. And I'm just like, yay! Because it works. It works. And so I'm going to finish up this recording because I don't want them to get too long. But I'm going to continue doing one recording each day and talk about the steps in the embodiment contemplation process. So stay tuned. You'll be receiving more videos talking about each step in the embodiment contemplation process. And I would also like you to check out, if you're interested, I am holding a women's retreat in February, early February, and in that retreat, it will be completely focused on your personal growth and how learning that embodiment contemplation process through experiences, through activities, through reflection practices, you can learn how to do this whole embodiment contemplation so that you can take it and use it on your own anytime you need to. So if you want to know more about the retreat, you can check it out on my website at peekinside.us. Check out the tab for the women's retreat. It's coming up February 3rd through 5th. And stay tuned because tomorrow's video is going to be on willingness, which is the first step in the embodiment contemplation process. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.